All right, we're in our day 2 of our March Momentum program. So today is all upper body, and we're gonna start with an assisted chin-up. If you are at a gym and you have access to the assisted pull-up machine, then go ahead and hop on that. But we're doing a chin-up, so either underhand or more of a neutral grip. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up my barbell, and then I'm going to actually be like underneath the bar and pulling myself up using my legs a little bit. So I'll demonstrate that obviously in a second. I'm gonna do 2 sets of 10. Because we're working in the 6 RPE or 60% of our effort. Again, we're using assistance here, but I want to dial in those reps. So I'm going to shoot for a high rep range on this one. Okay, after I finish 2 sets there, we're going to go into our first superset. I am going to use bands today. I like this red one. So I'm going to set up that band pretty high. If you, again, are at a gym and you can set up a cable machine, set that anchor up pretty high. And then we're going to pull towards the bridge of the nose. Again, with the band, I'll probably hit a higher rep range here, so shooting for 12. When I'm done with that, I'm gonna grab a dumbbell. I have 25s, I just need one of them. And I want to hit a low row, so I'm going to post up on my bench, so I'm nice and stable. And I'm gonna actually do palms away, and I'm gonna try to hit really low in the lat. One side first, and then I'll switch to the other side. Again, shooting for that 10 reps. I'm just gonna do 1 round there with that superset, and then I'm gonna move into a push press. I'm going to demonstrate with a barbell today, but you can use it with a dumbbell. And if these push presses just feel too awkward, then I would just go to a regular strict press. I'm going to shoot for 2 sets of 6 with 60 pounds on the bar. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. When we do our pressing, we just want to make sure that we're kind of hitting this double chin. So we're getting our nose out of the way, and we're trying to keep that weight as close to our midline as possible, because if we come way out here, that's going to be more risk for an injury in the back. So we want to double chin and pretty much scrape the nose, and then as we press up, we're kind of poking that head through, and same thing on the way back down too. So I'll demonstrate that, but we are using some momentum from the hips. Again, March momentum, so we're kind of adding these pulses or this explosiveness. Okay, 2 sets there. And then last superset, I'm going to set up my bench to an incline of about 30 degrees, and I'm going to use those 25s again, and I'm going to hit 10 reps there. With such a intense arm day, I'm actually curious if I'll hit this, so we'll see. And then following that, I'm going to set up that red band again, and then I'm going to demonstrate this kneeling chop because I want a very specific like push and pull action with the arms as we do a rotation. So I'll be sure to talk you through that one. All right, let's start with our chin-ups here. Again, I'm going to demonstrate the chin-ups on the barbell, and I'm going to go ahead and set this up for where I would normally set the bar for a back squat because that's my shoulder height. We wouldn't want it any higher than that because then we wouldn't get our chin over the bar. So I would say start there and then lower the bar if you can. That's going to make it a little harder because you're going to be using less of your legs. So let's set it up. Okay, I'm going to face out this way because these J-hooks, I want to be kind of pulling into the J-hook. If I was standing the other way, I wouldn't want this to roll. So this way, I'm pulling into the J-hook. Okay, underhand grip, and we're going to go about shoulder width apart, and then we're going to sit directly underneath it. So from here, I'm completely vertical. I'm going to barely use my legs, but I'm going to drive my elbows down and pull my chin over the bar, and then slowly lower back down. So there's 1. There's 2. Again, using your legs as much or as little as you can, but we're staying vertical. We're not coming out here and rowing. Drive those elbows down, lead with the chest up. I think this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, coming out, and I'm going to go ahead and rest for a minute and a half. If you need to adjust the bar, please do so. If you need to make it harder. All right, I'm going to rest for a minute. Grab some water. Okay. Time is up. Back under the bar. Underhand grip. I'm going to go a little bit wider this time and see if that feels better. Okay, sitting directly underneath and slightly using my heels to help assist me coming up, driving those elbows down. There's 3. There's 4. I wonder if the mic can catch my elbow popping. I lost count. I'm gonna say it's 5, 6, 7, 8. Even though I'm doing assist, it's still hard. 9. One more. And there's 10. Make sure you finish with that eccentric. Okay, coming on out. We're done with our chin-ups now, and we're gonna move on to our banded face pull and then that low row. So again, I'm gonna set up the band pretty high so I can reach this. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it up there. And then I'm gonna pull my bench over and use that. Okay, and then I got my 25-pound dumbbell for my low row. Okay, so band is up high. Again, if you're using a cable, usually when people do a face pull, they use the rope and then they hold the end of the rope. I've actually been really liking where you take the 2 handle attachments and attach them into the carabiner and use that for your pull. Way more comfortable, and you can lift a little heavier. Okay, if you are at home and you're using a band, we're gonna go thumbs down and then we're gonna grab the band. And I'm gonna say go ahead and grab like a good foot of distance here. Get some resistance, and then from here, I do have a slight angle in my stance because I have to counterbalance. And then I'm gonna pull this band to my nose, get a nice contraction, and slowly come forward, and then right back to it. So I'm gonna go to 12. There's 2, 3, with that slight hold. So again, we're getting that big contraction in the back. And you can notice I'm not swinging with the band at all. So I'm not gonna count that one. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, and 12. All right. Now, I'm going to use this dumbbell. I could put my knee up on the bench. I'm not going to. I'm just going to post up right here. And then again, palms away. When I pull up, I'm going to think about bringing that weight to my hip. So again, I'm getting that lat engagement really, really low. All right, I'm shooting for 10 here. Whatever leg I'm working or whatever arm I'm working, that leg is back. Basically, it's just out of the way. I'm still pushing with the stabilizing hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you can still see I'm controlling at the top, and I'm not swinging this weight around. All right, I'm gonna kind of go this way here. Oh yeah, much better on the right side. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and you can see I'm not getting like a giant range of motion. 1 more. 10. All right. Whew, we're done with that. Now we're going to move on to our pressing. So I'm going to use this barbell again for my push press. Okay. I'm going to set this aside, get that bench back out of the way. I wanted to demonstrate. So if you are going to use a barbell, really get those elbows up high. Barbell is going to rest on those shoulders. Once again, we're going to dip and use that momentum from our hips to drive that weight up over our head. Control as you come back down. I am going to go right back into my next rep. Okay, so here, let's look at it. Here, elbows are up high. Okay, from here, my chin is pulled back. I'm going to dip straight down, and then I'm going to use that momentum from my hips to drive that weight overhead. Control as you come back down, dip, explode. Come back down, dip, explode. Dip, drive that weight up. Those feet should be coming off the ground. Go. 1 more. And then I'm gonna add some weight, dip, and drive. Control, walk it into the bar or walk it into the wall. Come back down. Okay. That bar is 30. I'm gonna slap on 10s. And then all right, so 30, 40, 50. I'm gonna do 4 reps here, and then I'll add 5s, and then I'll go ahead and do my 6 reps. And again, I'll go from there. Because this week is kind of figuring out those weights, let's see how it feels. Okay, we're gonna dip and drive that weight up. 2, so now I'm cycling. I'm gonna catch it in that, there's 4, I think. 1 more. I'm catching it at the bottom in that like rebound. Because I'm already down there, I'm gonna go right back into the next one. Okay, yeah, that was pretty easy. And I just wanted to demonstrate too, if you were to use dumbbells, same idea. You're gonna have those elbows up and forward, not pointing to the ground. And then from here, you're gonna dip and drive the weight straight up. You can cycle them if you want. That would be the same thing. Okay. Okay, this is gonna be our first working set. I'm gonna go 6 reps. And 6. Okay, rest for a minute and a half. All right, grab water. Okay, that was a minute. I'm gonna procrastinate here on my next one. So when you also have a nice solid foundation, because you're lifting weight over your head, you gotta make sure that you're staying nice and tight. So with my rest of my body, is I'm kind of tucking or like squeezing my butt down below, staying tight, belly in the butt. Last set. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you're doing it right, you're gonna have some nice little red marks on those shoulders. If you're catching your clavicle, you'll see it. And that's why one of the things with the barbell too, because it takes so much wrist mobility, that if you do need to go to dumbbells, please do. Okay, we're done with our push press. I'm gonna bring my bench back over. We have our incline press and then that banded kneeling chop. Okay, I've got my incline bench set up and then I've got my 25s. Nope, I've got a 20 and a 25. There we go. Now I've got 25s. And then I have a band set up because I'm going to be kneeling. I don't need this up super high, so that should be plenty. So this is what that banded chop will look like. And then, but we'll do that second. We're going to hit the incline press first, shooting for the 10 reps. Okay, let's do it. Okay, just one set here. I'm going to do 10. All right, getting a nice stretch in the chest. Thinking about those pecs doing the work. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. All right, I did it. Okay, since I'm only demonstrating the one set, I feel like that was like doable. If I were doing the like full program and doing the 3 sets, I would probably keep the 25s and then bring up my reps down, just so I'm getting that volume. Okay, so to the chop now. So again, anchor is up. I would say, I don't know, I in line with your eyes. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is outside foot is going to be up. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my far end hand to the end. I'm gonna pull with. This hand that's closest to the anchor, I'm essentially going to stiff arm and push this thing away. We're doing a rotation. So stiff arms, and then we're gonna pull down and then control back up. So I'm leading with my belly. There's 3. Oh man, this band is hard. I like this with a cable. There's 3. There's 4. You can hear my tummy growl. 5. 6. So again, I'm leading with the far away hand, pushing with my closest hand to the anchor. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Oh, fine. That was hard. That wasn't a whole big range of motion, but I was going to turn it. I was going to go to this side. All right, we're going to hit the other side now. I'll kind of turn this way so you can see. Outside foot is up. Outside hand is leading. Inside hand is going to stiff arm that band. If you're using a cable machine, I really like putting the rope on the cable machine and then pulling the rope all the way through. So you're holding the rope long ways. Okay, last set of 10 here. 1. Arms don't bend. 2. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. This was pretty low. Could have gone a little higher just so I was getting a little bit more of a diagonal. That one I was kind of going straight across, but whatever. We're getting a rotation. That's the main point here. Staying stiff with those arms. All right. That's our upper body day. Friday is our back squat, and then we got a little momentum workout there. All right. See you in